The world does not care who you and the world only care about what you show. Every step of your words and attitudes is the message you send to the world. But the question is, are you controlling the message or letting others interpret it at will? Marcus Aurelius, an emperor surrounded by chaos, remains a symbol of calm, not only because of his sharp mind, but also because of the way he brought himself. He understands one thing that is simple but deep. Appearance is not just a mirror of yourself, but a mirror of your control strength. Imagine you enter a room, all eyes fixed on you. Your heart is beating a little sweaty hand, but you keep stepping straight. You speak slowly, clearly, and confidently. In an instant, doubt disappears. Not only others who start to believe in you, but you begin to believe in yourself. This is not just about imaging. This is about control of the mind. Actions and reactions of the world will judge you from what you display. But the control is entirely in your hands. Today we will discuss how modern Stoicism and psychology can help you create the aura of a power that is not only seen, but also feels the strength that starts from within yourself. Listen well, because this is not just a theory. This is the key to being an anchor in the middle of the storm of life. In Stoicism, there is a clear principle that we cannot control the outside world, but we can always control how we respond. Seneca, a famous Stoic, ever said, "Nothing can damage your mind except the mind itself." When we talk about strength, many of us may think about muscles, influence, or power. But Stoicism teaches that true power comes from within us, from our ability to remain calm and rational. Although the world around us is full of turmoil, this is not about suppressing emotions or pretending to not feel, but rather about recognizing that we have full control over our reaction. Imagine you are trapped in a long traffic jam. You can get angry, frustrated, or maybe even vent their frustration to those around you, but Stoicism teaches that the reaction is an option. You cannot control traffic, but you can control how you feel about it. Taking deep breathing and accepting the fact that congestion is a part of life is one way to practice self-control, and in self-control that there is an unwavering force. Once we understand that true power is in control of ourselves, we begin to realize that the outside world does not need to master our feelings or thoughts. We can choose to stay calm even in the middle of a storm. The basic principle of Stoicism reminds us that what happens outside of us, events of other people's words, the difficult situation is all just beyond our control, but the way we respond to the way we maintain inner peace and act with wisdom is the only thing that we really control. And the biggest power lies in the fact that we can choose not to be disturbed. As the word Epictetus, there is only one thing that is true in our control, that is our mind. Control the mind, control the response, and you will find unlimited strength not only out there, but most importantly, in yourself. Illustring heard about Marcus Aurelius as the most powerful emperor in Roman history. But behind the crown and luxury of his life, far from perfect, he faces continuous war, loses the people he loves, and even the disease that weakens his body. But in the midst of all the suffering, he remained steadfast, remained wise, and remaining calm. How can he survive? The answer is Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius not only wrote a philosophical book, he really lives with the principle of Stoicism in his famous Meditations. He records his thoughts in a very personal way. As a king, he not only had to manage the kingdom, but also manage himself. Every day, he tried to stay focused on what was in his control, mind, and reaction, and accepted gracefully. What can't he change? Imagine being a leader surrounded by war and conflict. Instead of letting the outside world control his feelings, Mark chose to focus on calmness in him. He practiced to see every challenge as an opportunity to grow in every decision he made. There is a deep calm because he knows that the world will always be chaotic. All he can control is his attitude and policy. Mark is not a person who only talks about calm. It is an example of life from the teachings of Stoicism in dealing with inner and external conflicts. He tried not to be trapped in feelings of anger or fear, but to face it with wisdom and courage. He believes that being a good leader, starting with self-control, not controlling others. From the life story of Marcus, we learn that calm is not something that comes just like that. It is a skill that is trained every day. Even when the world looks unfair or full of challenges, Marcus teaches us that self-control is the key to surviving the uncertainty of life. If we can take a lesson from Marcus Aurelius, it is that true power comes from within us. Just like he who did not let outside suffering control him. We also have the ability to choose our response to every challenge that comes in peace. We find our greatest strength. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot avoid the storms of life, but we can choose how we will respond. And like Marcus, we can also mend. Examples of calm and wisdom even though the world around us continues to change. How can you apply the principle of Stoicism in this modern life full of disorders and tension? This is not just about reading books or learning this theory about changing the way you live your daily life. How can you take advantage of your control to create an inspiring aura of power? Bir Amor Fati Acceptance Exercise. The principle of Stoicism teaches us to accept our destiny. What happened was a concept called Amor Fati, which means to love our destiny. Even if it is not in accordance with our expectations, this practice invites us to see every situation, good or bad, as an opportunity to learn and develop. Step 1 to implement this is to stop against reality when facing problems or difficulties, rather than complaining or avoiding it with grace. This exercise not only gives us inner peace, but also provides energy to take wiser and more rational actions. 2. Control of the mind. As expressed by Epictetus, nothing happens to us that we do not choose to respond. You cannot control what other people say or do, but you can always control how you respond. Exercise to separate feelings from the mind is the main key to mastering your control every time you feel disturbed or provoked. Try to stop for a moment. Ask myself what I really control in this situation. This gives you space to choose a more wise response than reacting with uncontrolled emotions. This is the strength of the control of the mind. Not only affects your actions, but also the way you are seen by others. When you show calm in dealing with the provocation of the aura of your strength, you are increasingly felt. 3 calm and decisive actions in every social interaction. Remember that people will read your aura more than what you say. Acts that are calm, confident, and full of firmness will convey the message that you control yourself and the situation. One way to train this is to talk less but wiser instead of filling space with words. Choose to speak only when you really have something valuable to convey. When you speak with the beliefs and clarity of the attention of others will be fixed on you, and you will be seen as a strong and reliable figure. 4. Practicing peace in uncertainty every day. The world offers uncertainty. Our task is not to avoid the uncertainty, but to remain calm in the middle. Try to practice mindfulness or stoic meditation, a way to train yourself so as not to get caught up in anxiety over the future or regret over the past. Focus your attention at this time and on things you can control. This will strengthen your inner peace and make you more stable in dealing with a life full of change. By applying these steps, you will begin to see changes in the way you are seen by others, and more importantly, the way you see yourself. True power in modern life comes not from ownership or influence, but from the inner peace created through your control is not just reactive to the outside world, but proactively in creating your own strength. Like Marcus Aurelius, who lives his life with calm despite being in the middle of a war, we can also create an aura of strength through self-control. This acceptance and firmness is not only about how other people see us, but how we see ourselves and act according to our beliefs. Life is a trip, not the final destination. Throughout this trip, we will be faced with challenges, difficulties, and failures. But behind all that, there is an opportunity to grow into a stronger, wiser, and more firm person. Stoicism teaches that true power does not come from external power, but from inner peace and control over yourself. Every step that we have discussed recognizes the role of appearance, understanding the basic principles of self-control, to apply practical steps to create an aura of strength. Everything is part of building this foundation. 1. Recognizing yourself as an architect of your destiny, you are not a victim. Your situation is the main controller of your response and actions. The world may be full of uncertainty, but within you there is the power to create stability when you choose to act with courage and calm. You're not only building a better life for yourself, but also an inspiration for others. 2. Strength. It's in control that you remember that you cannot control what happens outside of you. Other people's words, unfair situations, or even fate that seem impartial. But you can always control how you are. Respond to everything. Control over self is the essence of true power. Ketuga became king, or the queen in your life acts like a king, or the queen does not mean behaving, proud, or selfish.
Conversely, this means to bring yourself with martabac, beliefs, and calm that inspires the respect of people. Different when you feel destined for something big, you start acting according to the destiny, creating predictions, which is fulfilled by yourself. Utilize life, modern as world training fields today, full of disturbance, social pressure, and expectations that are not realistic. But this is the stage, perfect. 4. Applying Stoicism every day is an opportunity to practice self-control. Shows calm in a storm and strengthen your character. Finally, Stoicism is this transformation journey, not about being perfect, but about being more. Both from yesterday, this is about creating yourself as an anchor of stability in the world that continues to change. As said by Marcus Aurelius, you have strength on mind. You are not an external event to realize this, and you will find strength. The question now is, are you ready to take control of your destiny? Are you ready to be a figure that radiates strength and calm in this world? The answer is in your action starting from now. You don't need to wait for your trip to start now.